What's going on? What's going on? Long time no see. Uh, I just wanted to do a video. I was listening to some good conversation from I think the channel is Kaizo, the Kaizo Empire. A very good conversation. Very good channel. It's like a bridge. He opens a bridge to conversation for um black people in America, Africans in Africa, Africans around the world. It's a good channel. Check it out. Anyways, I just wanted to kind of come on here because what I'm noticing is, kind of basically a crunch. Like I'm noticing people are getting crunched out. The economy is still in trouble. You know, I would say if I asked a PhD economist and I asked them, how do you think about the economy? Do you think that we're in trouble or do you think we're not in trouble? I pretty much would say I would bet that the economist, the PhD economist would say we're in trouble. And that hasn't improved. We're in trouble for a while. A lot of things are swept under the table, swept under the rug. But yeah, the economy is it's a lot of things. It's a lot of issues. Okay, and one of the things that I'm noticing, as far as right now we're in a retrograde. Today, I think is the first day of the this retrograde is called the Thanksgiving retrograde. So one of the things about retrogrades, as I stated many of times, and I warn people that listen to me, people that subscribe to me, is that one of the things that happens in the retrograde, a lot of times people kind of crash out, and people don't even know, okay, I need to be on guard because it's a retrograde. Because see, this conversation is elite conversation. The elite people, a lot of them know about interplanetary affairs. I mean, not affairs, but interplanetary movements. They know about astrology. They know about astronomy. Uh, they know about the zodiacs, right? They know about different planets, and stuff like that. And right now we're in a Mercury retrograde, and yeah, people crash out a lot of times during a Mercury retrograde. Even myself, I probably, I learned about the Mercury retrograde, I want to say probably about maybe 10 years or less, 10 years ago, or maybe even less than that. And one of the things that I noticed was about the Mercury retrograde was, people really start crashing out, and people, you don't even know. And I'm not talking about no like crash out that you can recover. Okay. Like it's crash outs that you can't recover from. Like you done kill somebody and you going to jail for the rest of your life or worse. You those types of crash out. People, doing all kind of stuff. Unrecoverable. Like, it's crash outs that are unrecoverable. You can't recover from it, you know? It's like crash outs like that. And yeah, a lot of that happens. I notice a lot of that happens. It happens every day, but it happens like really, really bad. I notice in during Mercury retrogrades. But yeah, that's definitely started today, as actual Mercury retrograde started this actual day. And things are challenged. Like if you have an independent mindset, I would say both men and women, if you have an independent the mindset, you gonna get crunched. you're gonna get actually you're gonna get crunched on like a granola bar, because this this economy, to just even in life to survive, you can't rely on independence to survive. And that even goes for men and women. The actual reality of independence, oh my god, that is actually, that's destroying women. I mean, women are absolutely getting like crunched down, like processed, like ground beef, as far as the reality of trying to be independent. I mean, it's like a resurgence of like women that are being, that are homosexual. Then they're trying to come back to men because they're not even making it. It's so, this how bad it is, right? Women are were, they tried to be gay. Now they're trying to come back to be straight because it's just so that's how bad it is.
Message.
I mean, that's right there. Like, that's how bad this shit is. You know what I'm saying? And it's gonna increase. Um, I ain't gonna lie. I'm an opportunist. I'm a I'm an opportunist, man. You know what I'm saying? I ain't gonna lie to you. Like, one of the things, a lot of the things that I talk about on my channel is opportunity. Okay. Well, you got a house with 3 bedrooms. It's just you live there. You got 2 bedrooms. You could, you know you could be like, hey, I got a house. I got a house right here. You need a bedroom, huh? You in Chicago, you don't want to sleep outside. Definitely can't sleep outside. So yeah, I got this bedroom for you. You get yourself together. And I mean, you know, it is what it is. And I know people don't, women don't probably like that idea, but I mean, you know, it is what it is, man. It's all I can say is like this.
The shit's chess, it ain't checkers.
I got a rook for you, baby. You know what I'm saying? You need my protection. I am the man. You know what I'm saying? I'm the man right here, I got you. But yeah, a lot of that's going down. That's going down, whether you like it or not. It's going down, bro. It was going down before I was born. You know what I'm saying? It's going down, baby. Yeah. I got this room right here for you. You know what I'm saying? See, that's the thing about it. Like, I mean, yeah, you could have an apartment, you have a 2 bedroom and all that, but ain't nothing like having a house, man. I got a house. I got. What if you got multiple houses? You know what I'm saying? Like, you could, man. I done met guys, man. I ain't gonna lie to you, man. I met a lot of people in my life. Being in the military, having all the 1,000 jobs that I've had, man. I done met a lot of people, man. I remember talking to guys, and it just seemed crazy, but it's real. It's really realistic. It was a guy I remember. He said he had multiple families. He had actually I met quite a few men, you know what I'm saying, that said they had multiple families. And the wives knew about it. They had multiple families. They had a house somewhere, and then they had another house, another location. You know what I'm saying? Like, they went back and forth. That could easily be a reality, man. Like, that's a side of real estate that a lot of people don't talk about. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's a reason why I like houses. And that's one of the reasons that I really don't talk about. Like, yeah, you know what I'm saying? It's chess out here. Like, you can have a house like that shit literally, hell, my grandfather owned both. Shit, my man, I don't know how many times, like back in the day, like in the 20s and 30s and shit. Like, I mean, my grandfather, my great grandfather, he had two families across town, and he didn't even have no money. He was pretty much broke. He broke up with my great grandma. Then he went across town. He started a whole nother family. We just met like 2 years ago. Like my grandmother, she just met her sister, like that, like basically distant sister, half sister, like 2 years ago. You know, her granddaughter is actually gorgeous. I mean, absolutely, like I'm talking like she can hang with Rihanna type gorgeous. Like I'm like, damn, it's the first time I'm meeting my cousin, or actually, she's my grand cousin. And it's like, yeah, man, that's a reality that can get, can possibly be. I mean, I know it's certain men that, probably watch my channel, or the average man, they can't get one woman, to cooperate. So let alone getting two, and all that, three and four, whatever. That mindset is incomprehensible. But what I'm trying to tell you is the tone of my conversation is definitely extreme reality, but also confidence. Having confidence, man. Like a lot of times society in the world, in the basically the universe, beats you up every single day. Just wake up, just get stole on as soon as you wake up, because you tired. You ain't really get enough sleep like you wanted, but you got obligations for the day because you promised, that you was gonna do something, or got to go to work or whatever, and you just get beat up. You just Every day people getting stole on, by life. But what I'm trying to tell you is, even though you getting stole on, you getting browbeat every single day, you gotta, I mean, if you gotta find some way to remember that you still the man. You still accomplished a lot of things. A lot of times I forget. I don't react, being reactionary to try to, make it in life and to survive and everything. I've done so many things, I've accomplished so many things. I forget the shit that I even accomplished, because it's like no fucking big deal. And a lot of times, people act like that. People even talk to you and and react to you like you ain't no big deal. Like, let's talk about it, right? Let's talk about in the sports world. People people do that all the time. You got an NBA legend, that, let's just say, like, let's just say, who's an NBA legend? Gary Payton, right? Gary Payton, the glove, right? He hasn't played in probably over what, 10, 20 years. He hasn't played basketball. He lost the championship to, Michael Jordan and Scottie Pippen and them, the Bulls. But, you know, Gary Payton was the man when he was playing. He was very, very good basketball player. You would talk to somebody, a Johnny come lately, and they'll say, yeah, Gary Payton wasn't nothing. Or they'll even say Gary Payton was trash. Because it's like, people, people, that's what people say. If they, especially if they don't see you playing, and a lot of athletes, they feel bad about that, because they can't necessarily dress up and play again. Gary Payton has a son that's playing in the NBA now, but it's like, yeah, I mean, people will like diminish your success, and diminish, you could even be on top. You could be a millionaire superstar athlete or whatever, businessman, and people would be like, you was a multimillionaire businessman, yeah, so what? Who cares? That's no big deal. Yeah, anybody can do that. It's like, okay, anybody cannot do that, motherfucker. It's only less than 1% of men, all men, have made it to become a millionaire, and less than, probably I would even say, zero, going into like the fractions of a percentage, have made it being a business owner. Because being a business owner and making it to be a millionaire is more difficult than just working a job. A lot of people don't know that. You think it's easy to be in business. It's not. Ask all those people that now that they filed a new law where if you have an LLC, you have to file the proper paperwork every period of time, or you'll be fined like $5,000 or $15,000. You don't know how many people that had these, basically certificate LLCs and no business. They just, people were promoting LLCs like crypto, about 3 or 4 years ago, and then people signed up for an LLC instead of a sole proprietorship because they don't know. They don't have any business acumen or knowledge. So they filed for an LLC, which is what you should do if you're really serious about business. But it's not, you don't really need an LLC to start a business. But they went out and did that, and they had no business. They wasn't making any revenue on their business, and it was just their LLC was dormant. And then they made a law where you had to file certain paperworks every quarter or something like that, or once or twice a year or something like that. And like, if you don't do it, you get fined $15,000. Man, you don't know how many people are secretly and quietly filing paperwork to basically disband their LLC and basically put their LLC out of business, official out of business status, so they don't have to pay that fine for filing certain paperworks and stuff like that, just so they don't forget. Because yeah, it doesn't matter. Like, the government will fine you, and then you're cooked. If you don't pay it and all of that type of stuff. So yeah, it's very difficult. Business is very, very difficult. Every now and again, I get on my soapbox, and I remind you that yeah, business is very difficult. Yeah, you should strive. You shouldn't run from that difficulty. It's not something that I'm saying that you should run from, but I don't want you to think that I can just open up a business and everything will be cake and pie, because it is not going to be. Because business is very, very hard. And if you come at it like that, you probably are going to be successful, because you're going to be like, okay, well, I listen to this guy and he's saying business is hard as hell. And it is. And then if you look at it like, man, I gotta come in this shit, like I gotta put my work boots on, my construction cap, and my, you know, uh vest on, and get ready to work. Well, guess what? That type of business acumen and work will probably make you a success instead of a failure in business. Because a lot of times what people think is they gonna have it cake, and they just gonna be riding the surf and making a whole bunch of money. And that's just not how that works. Business is very, very difficult, and it's kind of like having your own country, and you got to get people to support your country. And if you don't get people to support your country, you're gonna be fucking famished. You're gonna have all kind of problems, and that's how I look at business. I look at business as having your own island or your own country, and you got to get people to support your country, to support you and your country, because it's your country. Your business is your country, and you got to get it to be supported. Or some people say your business is like a baby. It has to be supported. It has to be taken care of. You have to feed it and all of that stuff. But it's not easy. It's definitely not easy. And a lot of people did start businesses as far as in there. They wanted to do that. They had desires. They started the LLC or created an LLC, and then they, basically they starting these laws. But the thing is that I know people come on here and they looking for some entertainment. They're looking for some escapism, you know. But what I'm trying to tell you is people gonna get crunched up out here, and basically, you're gonna have to be able to, survive this crunch. And it's ongoing. I'm seeing it in real time. It's a whole bunch of. I went to Home Depot today. It's like more immigrants outside than it was like last summer. It's really crazy out here. That's some entertainment for you right there. You know, you got to survive out here, man. It's very, 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 very tight. The money is tight out here. People, when the things get tight, things start happening, man. People starting to rob, man. It's getting crazy out here, man. These young people that didn't want to listen to the older people and take their advice, guess what? They trying, they getting fucked up in the game, and they trying to look for some money to keep afloat. And that means breaking into this store, breaking into this ATM, robbing this bank, carjacking this car, breaking into this house. All of that type of shit, man, is going on, man. And it's going to get even worse. And the usual. It's still simps, but these simps, man, these simps is getting broke, man. They're getting broke. And and some of them, in order to keep their woman happy and keep simping, they might do something violent to get some money so they can keep it going. So they can keep their boo happy and keep simping. You know, that's what they doing. Yep, that's what they own. Trying to make some money so they can keep simping. But yeah, a lot of people giving up hope, man. Trust and believe. A lot of people already have given up hope. A lot of people are currently giving up hope. And I'm just trying to tell you, don't fall for it. Don't fall for, you out here getting crunched up, and then you forget like it's a representative called Danny Davis in Chicago. People in Chicago, they know Danny Davis. Danny Davis, he said one day, a poor dog will stop wagging his own tail. He'll forget that he even has a tail. That's kind of what people do when they get financially challenged and they're in a bad state. They don't use what they have in front of them. Like, people get so depressed, they don't even use what they have around them. Like for example, I'm a real estate investor. I've been so for roughly about 10 years. And one of the things that I'll tell you about being a real estate investor and depression. When you go walk through a house, right, there's usually a house that somebody either rented out or somebody, is a distressed property. It's called a distressed property. And one of the things that you notice, one of the things that you're going to see with these houses is these houses are full of items. Okay, clothes, just, you think of everything that's left over in a house. That's what the house has in it. Those people there, they were obviously financially distressed. They left everything. They all of the clothes, like everything that I talk about, like people be all into clothes and shoes and jewelry and shit like that. Those items, those are left in a house that's abandoned, a distressed property. It's a bunch of clothes, furniture, might even be a TV or two. Because, see, you got to understand, when people are financially distressed, they're also depressed, usually. And what happens is they're so financially challenged that they can't afford to move, anywhere. Like, especially women, they're not moving no furniture. They get in a bind. They don't have every woman don't ain't calling Nate. So they have to leave all of their merchandise, all of their clothes in the house, and then just basically go, wherever they can go. Now, you would think, right? The average person, or even above average, a business-minded person, right? A self-employed, even a self-employed type of a mindset person, right? What would you do with all of those items? Right? What would you do? Okay, you actually had to buy those items. You didn't, those items didn't come free. What do? You basically you go put, that's what they have eBay for. That's what they have Poshmark. I mean, you could sell clothes. Uh, if you got, like, I know in the Midwest they have a franchise. It's not a franchise, but it's like basically a thrift store. It's called Plato's Closet, where you can sell used clothes, and they give you money for your used clothes. I mean, it's better than nothing. It's better than leaving your clothes in a damn house that you obviously needed money because you couldn't pay your rent. That's why you got evicted or whatever. You lost your house when, whatever the case may be, foreclosure, eviction. You had bought those clothes. You paid cash for those items. Those items are all worth something. Everything damn near has a value. That's what you got to remind yourself. Like, that's that's just basic economics. Everything has a value. And you spending that money on them clothes and all of this furniture and stuff like that, those items could be sold. You what people should do and they don't do. If you know you got about a month or two, then you probably might get evicted, right? You got like 90 days, or even before you get evicted, shit about to get tight. Shit tight right now. I'm probably not gonna be able to pay for this mortgage. I'm not gonna be able to pay this rent. Man, that is the time, well, even before, really, that you gotta start selling every goddamn thing that you got in that house. You gotta start basically, like, damn near be a minimalist, because you about to move. Most likely the money ain't gonna come. And you pretty much, you about to probably gonna have to get someplace to go. You might as well sell every damn thing in that house. Like pretty much that's what people do when they about to move anyway. They put, everything up, on Facebook Marketplace or OfferUp or Craigslist or eBay, Poshmark, wherever you can sell it. Have garage sales, and then they get rid of the stuff. Go to the flea market. and they sell that stuff for, whatever they can sell it for. And then if they do move, you know, they ain't gotta move that much stuff because everything is gone, and then they got cash in their pocket to go, carry on. I'm not gonna cap with you. I'm not one of those YouTubers that come online and they don't talk anything about their personal life, or they don't really go into depth about their personal life and all of that type of stuff, because they look at themselves as some type of junior superstar or some shit, some celebrity or whatever, just by proxy of having a YouTube channel and other people that join panels and engage like they, believe they're some type of celebrity. Like, nah, I'm not, this is a no cap zone. You know what I'm saying? Um, I've definitely had an eviction before, and I know what happens and how that is. I've been there before, so this is not me telling you some shit that I don't know, that I ain't been through myself. I've been through it. You know what I'm saying? It's not like, you can recover from it. You know what I'm saying? It's definitely recoverable. You learn your lesson. You learn, okay, you got to take care of business. You can't be out here, and that's why I don't like apartments. I can't It's one of the reasons why I don't like apartments, because you really don't have that much freedom when it comes to having an apartment. But then that goes for anything. Renting, you don't have that much freedom. So the thing is that, yeah, uh I see it all the time. People that are really into materialistic stuff, and they trying to pose for other people, and keep up with all of this stuff, and don't want to deal with reality. They're not, they're living in delusion land. And then, the eviction court paperwork, shows up at their door. They got to go to court. It gets real at that point. And now you got a date that you got to exit the premises. And you got all of these clothes. You got mountains and mountains of clothes. Your baby got Jordans, all of these clothes that you spent all of the money that you should have really been spending on paying your rent. You putting it in clothes, and you thinking your children having all of these clothes and you having all of these clothes, you're some successful middle class person or some shit. And it's like, no, that's not reality. That's like, what other people think of you is not reality. What reality is what reality is. And if you don't address reality, yeah, you're fucked. You're cooked. You know, you're crunched like a crunch bar. And this is just a reminder, to tell you that, because a lot of times people even have friends, and women do this a lot, where they have friends that basically, one of their friends' job, a prerequisite for them to be a friend, is they have to co-sign their friends' bullshit, and they can't tell them like it is. Because women be so sensitive and unaccountable that they don't really want to hear the truth. The truth to women is like you're shaming them or some shit, or you know, um, you're talking bad to them, or you don't like them, because you're acknowledging the actual truth. You're breaking my delusional spell. How dare you? But yeah, it's crazy, man. It's really, really crazy out here, you know, and I mean, it's like, a lot of stuff is gonna be definitely corrected. It's a market, economic market correction is upon us. All of these cars I was driving past, I never forget, like, about, yeah, I think this was last week. I was driving past this car dealer, and I noticed the dude was like, the salesman was standing in the window. And I remember being that business owner standing in the window, even standing outside. Like I'm gonna tell you, I'm gonna put you up on game, right? So if you see a salesman sitting in the window, like, or no, not sitting in the window, or standing in the window, you can go in that store and you can get a deep discount because that salesman or that owner of that business that's standing in the window, the reason why he's standing in the window is because he ain't getting no sales and he wondering, damn, am I gonna be able to pay my car payment? He sell cars. He like, damn, am I gonna be able to pay my car payment? Am I gonna be able to pay my mortgage this month? Damn, I gotta pay for all these employees. Damn, how am I gonna do that? It ain't got no sales. What is, he looking at he looking out the window and seeing what people driving past. He like, damn, nobody want to buy these high priced cars. And it's like, man, if you see somebody like standing outside, or like, yeah, like standing in the window, but I'm gonna tell you, standing outside is even worse. Standing outside is even worse. If you see a business owner standing outside and they not smoking, they just standing outside, man, they are willing to damn near sell their store. That's what that means. You probably, if you give them a good offer on their actual business, their store, they might take it. That's what that means. And I'm just, from a man that's been in business, and I've been, in that situation before. I'm just putting you up on game. I'm just telling you what the deal is. I mean, people that had a business, they can co-sign what I'm saying. They know if you had a retail storefront, brick and mortars, they know exactly what I'm saying. So, yeah, man, it's gonna be a lot of financial refugees. It's gonna be a lot of women that have children. Their boyfriend might be locked up because they crashed out. They did something because the rent was due or whatever, and they gonna be, they're a single mom. They got kids, and their baby daddy is locked up. And it's like, what do you do? Do you take on being a single mom, provider? What do you do, man, in that scenario? I hear this Fugazi stuff. The dude that run the Fugazi podcast, he's getting ripped through the ringer. He's been getting ripped through the ringer for about 2 weeks. And one of the things about that is that that's happened before to somebody. I think Donovan Sharp. He was talking about single moms and don't date single moms and shit like that. And it came to find out he was dating a single mom. And it's not like like, one of the things I will say about the Fugazi dude, he at least for him, the single mom that he's dating or whatever, he's not married to her. Uh, she is kind of look on the look side. She looks kind of good. I mean, I'll you be the judge as far as the other side of the game, as far as the Donovan Sharp. Like I just it's just like, man, people just kind of expose themselves, and you see it, and you like, what? It's like if I tried to sell being a millionaire, and then I had fake money on the table, and I just showed you a bunch of fake money, like Floyd Mayweather. And it's like, man, you spot some fake ass hundreds. I'm showing some prop money on the table to be like, yeah, I'm a millionaire. And it's like, man, people see through that shit, man. If you a sell, like, you on here trying to sell people stuff, you know, I mean, at least, be honest. Like me, I'm not. I ain't came on here talking about I'm a millionaire and all that type of shit. And it's like, you know, you be a millionaire too. No, I'm saying, hey, I got some good theories. I haven't made $1 million yet, but hear me out. It's your ego. You got to a certain extent. You do have to put your ego in check. It's all right to have an ego, but you got to put your ego in check because your ego can fuck you up. And not only that, your ego can get you in a lot of trouble and put you in a situation where people find out you fake. One of the things about being fake is people don't like fake ass people. So only so many people. Some people like fake people. They can deal with it. It depends. Cause I know, like, cause to be honest, like the way I look at, okay, so let me just point out some obvious fake people. Okay, like for example, Tariq Nasheed to me comes off pretty much like a fake person. He's not really genuine. Obviously, if you probably are, if you're surface level, which a lot of people are surface level, you don't know how he was previous, like 10 years ago, 20 years ago. He goes from being he basically takes ideas from some dude he was living in his apartment building that was an actual Mac. Then he writes a book, or he puts on a whole persona and sells the idea of being a Mac, even though he never was. He just basically got the idea from some dude that actually was a Mac that lived in his building. Then he went from that to being a pro-black, basically, now I don't want to say pro-black, but basically a pan-African uh, uh, documentary salesman with hidden colors. Then the third grift is selling people on the idea of a movement, stealing from another camp, another group, which is Yvette Carnell and Tone Talks, taking that, robbing their movement, and basically spinning it into some separate camp, and then all the means to basically create some type of basically race bait politics, identity politics movement, that I don't, what I'm saying, like that. That's pretty much what he is. Like, I don't know what he's gonna do 3 years from now, 4 years from now. He gonna sell you on some new shit. But I don't fall for it because I can see it. I can see this guy's a fake person. It's not this Hollywood, you know. But a lot of people fall for that shit. A lot of people are brainwashed, very, very easily brainwashed. Fortunately for me, I'm not easily brainwashed like that. But the thing is that people don't like fake people that lie. They don't like hypocrites. People don't like that type of shit. They don't like hypocrites. If you're a hypocrite, you could lose your fan base or your subscriber base or followers or whatever. You can easily lose that by being, a hypocrite. You know, even my ass, I had to say, yeah, I definitely deal with single mothers. I mean, most of the women I deal with is single mothers. You know what I'm saying? I mean, I might poke jabs because you got a lot of single mothers that ain't worth a damn, and that's why they're single mothers. But hell yeah, I be fucking the shit out of single mothers, and I have no qualms to say that. But I guess some guys, it's they have a hard time, actually crossing that line. And people are breaking you down. They starting to see, oh, people, once people put the lens on you, they start to see all of the things, and they put them all in this puzzle, and they dissect your ass.
and they see you for what you are, as you basically some dude that's just trying to sell people on the idea of something, but in reality, the way you live your life is totally different. It's totally counter to what you're actually talking about on your particular podcast or whatever. But that's bullshit. I don't really give a fuck. I don't have any uh podcasts like I come on here and I talk about mainly finances, talk about like the economy, and talk about what's going on in society. I mean, different things, but at the end of the day, you know, I don't have no problem telling you things from a realistic standpoint because I don't have any aspirations to make a bunch of money from my subscribers or I don't have any aspirations to run ads or care. If I get my ads back, cool. If I don't, I'm cool. You know, and that's it. I mean, you start to see people fall off, because their aspirations was more financial than anything else, and I don't really I don't have no problem with people like that. People can do whatever they want to do, but my aspirations is not primarily financial when it comes to me in my YouTube channel. My aspirations have already been fulfilled. I'm a self-fulfilled prophecy. Like I basically a lot of my previous like early conversations were about trying to get out of debt, trying to become more financially free. Trying to tackle business. I'm still trying that. I'm still trying to get trying to get some things going with that. Trying to kind of get back into the groove with that, and a lot of other things that I want to do. I'm still working on them, but yeah, I don't I've already fulfilled my actual desires as far as things is concerned. The only thing that I really want to do is scale up, continue to scale, and that's pretty much it. But that doesn't come from my YouTube channel. It is as far as like maybe a percentage of a very small percentage of it because I'm pretty sure I get some sales and some of the sales I get and stuff like that is from YouTube. But the thing is, honestly, I'll tell you like it is. When it comes to like all of the social media and everything like that, I get more love on TikTok or more, actual views and everything like that from TikTok than I do probably any other thing. Like, but as far as like making money off of social media, I don't really make that much money off of social media. You know, it's a lot of fake people on social media. In terms of like just how they are. A lot of people are fake as hell. You just I guess in order to deal with the multitudes of people on the internet, I guess that's the way to be is to be fake. Um, to kind of I guess you have your favorites of people that you want to deal with, and then you flake other people. Even to be honest, man, this is the funny thing, right? This is hilarious shit, right? This is really fucking wild, right? It's people that like you can actually financially support someone, right? Like meaning you can buy something from them. You can support them with channel donations, and if they don't like you, it doesn't matter. All that shit does not matter. Like if you give me a fucking cash out, you buy some shit from me, you my best fucking client. You my best customer. Like, I'm gonna motherfucking roll out the red carpet when your ass come around. Like, I don't. That's not how I act. Like, that ain't me. Like, I don't give. Like, I don't have no favoritism. Nobody. I mean, I have my. I mean, obviously, you probably already know who my favorite is. I mean, you you already know that. But as far as like, and that person is definitely supported me. I've supported them. You know what I'm saying? But as far as like, if other people that they supported me, hell yeah, like rolling out the red carpet. Shit, you know what I'm saying? I'm gonna support them too, because that's business. You know, but what is it? Black people do not know business. That's why they fucking terrible at business. That's why the neighborhoods look like they
He
do.
said it take a village to raise a child. But what if the village is retarded?
Retarded juice. A lot of retarded juice is in the water. And black people drink it up. And it's like, yeah, all of that emotionalism, my favorite this and my favorite person, none of that shit really exists when it comes to who supports you and who doesn't support you. But people so emotionally fucked up. You hurt their feelings. If you too real and raw and they don't like you, I'm the preacher telling the truth and it hurts. You hurt their feelings. Like the preacher, like the actual preachers, they know enough to say to keep their congregation happy. If they too aggressive, they start talking about the Old Testament. They bring out that Old Testament and start preaching from the Old Testament. Then they start noticing, the congregation a little light next Sunday. And oh, don't talk about Revelations. Oh, don't talk about the book of Revelation. They're gonna start walking out, mid church, you know. Uh, and it's like, yeah, it's like, yeah. I mean, a lot of times it's an African proverb. If the speakers of truth have few friends, the speakers of truth have very few friends. And I'm gonna be honest with you, I do have very few friends because I'm gonna hold you accountable. I'm a fucking warrior. I'm a king. I'm not gonna sit back and let you be a fucking imbecile. I definitely, if you treat your kids like shit, I don't want nothing to deal with you. You're not responsible and stuff like that. That's gonna have an impact on me and what I'm trying to do, and I can't deal with that shit. So that's gonna be a possible clash in the future, anyways. You know, so it's like basically, yeah, a lot of that stuff. It just people being people, man, having all of the flaws that they have. So it's like, man, basically, when it comes to reality, the reality is the reality. Put this seatbelt. Sometimes, sometimes reality sucks. I ain't gonna lie to you. Sometimes the reality might suck balls. Life sometimes sucks. That's what kids they gotta they start to realize life ain't all it's cracked up to be. It's challenges sometimes. Life has its challenges, and when those challenges occur, you got to deal with it the best way you can. And A lot of times, what happens when people get challenged, they start forget that they, actually overcame something worse than whatever they came. They get like tunnel vision, and then they can't react. They can't, they get surprised. They get shocked. It's like, man, it's tripped out how people freeze under pressure and stuff like that. And it's, it is what it is. But you've been through this before. I mean, I'm, 40 something years old. I was born in the 80s. I've been through worse times than this. It's not. I will say it's in a level of intensity that probably I've never seen before. As far as like, okay, let's talk. Let's say COVID, definitely coronavirus. Coronavirus, like that is definitely something that's, like that happened like 100 years ago, the Spanish flu. Um, but the intensity in the Middle East, the intensity in Ukraine and Russia, I think this shit is worse than even the '60s and the Bay of Pigs. I mean, it's the intensity is very, very intense. The Middle East conflict is growing in intensity. You know, the intensity I'll say that I probably never have. I don't know if it's been this intense. I would have to talk to somebody that's older than me, that would have to say that probably they would have to verify that, because I would say this is more intense than the '80s, the '70s, the '60s, as far as the different wars and conflicts that were going on in the world at that time. But I would say that because the people have cameras, you're able to see stuff more than you were, previous decades ago. But I mean, to be honest, man, like as far as like things being challenging, I think that it's a lot of opportunity. Like I'll be honest, like it really, like, even if it's tough, like it's a lot of opportunity. You know what I'm saying? It might, like, okay, the date market might be fucked up depending on where you are, but who gives a fuck? Like you could, as a man, you got different options. Like you could do, and then women don't like that, but hey, it is what it is. But I mean, from a woman's perspective, I mean, I would say it's very, very easy. It's probably too much. It's probably too easy to find a guy now. But I don't know. I mean, women that are not raised with men in the household, they don't know a good man if they slap them in the face, because they never really was raised around men. You go to school to be a psychologist or something like that. You already know the inner dynamics of how women and men are raised from infant to adulthood. If they don't have interactions with their father, and interactions with both mother and father, they have developed certain development issues and certain social issues that will come in their lifetime, as far as trying to deal with the opposite sex. That's just textbook. That's college, you know, psychology class slapped right in your face. Psychology 101, psychology 102, right there in your cerebellum. But the thing is that, as far as the opportunities financially, it's still a lot of opportunities out here. It's a lot of opportunities. Like, especially if you don't have no record, like you don't have no felony, oh my God, it is so many opportunities for you to be making at least $100,000 a year. It's so many opportunities. You could be a notary. You can sell insurance. You can sell real estate. You can get loans and actually flip properties. You can do all kind of shit if you don't have a record. You can get into tech. This tech is still needed. Don't get it twisted. Like I'm gonna tell you, I stopped watching the news. You watching the news? I'm telling you, that's on some 1984 type shit. You are getting brainwashed and programmed. Like you watching fucking the news 24/7. I'll never forget. I got on a panel and it's this guy. I'm not gonna talk about him or whatever. Point his name out, but he's a dude that he travels a lot and he's a truck driver. And I asked him, "Do you watch news 24/7?" He's like, "Yeah, I got to. I'm a trucker." I'm like, "Man, dude, that shit ain't nothing but programming and brainwashing 101." I mean, that's like brainwashing 101. Like fucking watching CNBC and CNN all day long, Fox News. Man, ain't nothing but programming, man, and brainwashing. And it's like, man, when I used to watch the news a lot and all of that. Nah, I just like I catch the news on. I read news articles on my phone, and I can select what I want to watch, and I can research it, validate it, whatever. But it's like, man, I don't watch, man. That shit, a lot of that shit is That's why it's called TV programming, man. Like, man, you get brainwashed and you don't even know it. So you thinking like, damn, I can't do anything because all of these tech layoffs and all of these things, tech is not popping now because all these layoffs. Man, bullshit, man. Bullshit. They need, man, technology. Run. I'm gonna tell you something. This is what I learned when I got into tech, like 2007. I realized this is all you gotta tell yourself. If you need some type of kicking ass or something, technology runs this fucking world, bro. It runs this whole fucking world. I had to say bro because I'm trying to reach the young people. Like I don't even know why I said that shit. So I don't even say no fucking bro. But it just slipped out of my fucking mouth. But the thing is technology runs this whole world. I mean, the planes, trains, automobiles, a lot of houses, commercial, buildings, commercial businesses, they all have technology. The businesses with no technology, they are not really competing well because they don't have the technology and they need people to work on the technology. Like that is all you need to know. This whole fucking world is run off of technology, some form of fashion. And it's tons and tons of work that needs to be done on a day-to-day basis to keep that technology afloat. There's new technology coming out all the time. It's so much technology. Technology, I'm gonna be honest with you. Technology is how you can go from out of poverty to like you just man making a whole bunch of money because it's just so many ways you can get into it. Like you can get into Python, start coding Python. You can get into web development, creating dynamic websites for customers. It's a lot of businesses that they don't even really have a website. You got people that don't have a website, man. They like 2024, they don't really have a decent website. Their website is trash and it's not really effective. And you can create them a dynamic website that has tools built into it to help them in their business. Like it's just like, man, it's so many ways. Like really the reason why cyber technology is so big. See, one of the reasons why cyber tech is so big is what I said earlier, the Russians. The Russians and the Chinese attack the United States regularly, and they need cyber techs to kind of be on the front line of that defense. That's why cyber technology. See, this is a guy that's ex-military that's putting you up on game that nobody really talks about. That's one of the reasons why I was involved in a company. I worked for Mondelez, and that Mondelez was attacked. It was attacked by basically a computer virus. That company lost $250 million within a week long period because they basically their factories were shut down. Mondelez makes Chips Ahoy, Oreo cookies, Nabisco products, all kind of. You just don't know the name because they made so much money they split the company into two. They had Kraft Foods, Kraft Heinz, and then they have Mondelez. So anyway, and that lady, the lady, she was a CEO. She was very very frugal, man. I mean that. Imagine you worth $200 million and you bring in a bag lunch. You eating with everybody else with your bag lunch. You worth over $200 million. I mean, of course she lived probably in a really nice mansion or something like that. But yeah, man, that lady was she was very very modest, man. For one of the richest women in the world, she brought a bag lunch to work. But she was a CEO at the time. Um, I mean, yeah, man, you gonna be dealing with the corporate world a lot of times if you going in IT. That's a big chunk of it. But man, when I got into IT, man, that changed my life, man. That's one of the reasons why my head is so big, man. Is IT, and when I went away to college, man, and definitely when I went away to the Navy too, man, my head got swole, boy, because I saw the world, I saw the military, I saw the government, I saw what the government is actually capable of. All these people try to play around with all these PPPs and all this other goofy shit, man. People have nightmares over the U.S. government, man. The U.S. military, they have nightmares over that shit. You know, it's I mean, like to be honest, man, it's like the same government, man, that you could actually get rich off of. You can get government contracts. You can get government jobs, and and man, make a whole bunch of money, man. It's like, man, Joe, it's crazy. It is. That's what we say in Chicago. But see, my grandfather's name Joe. So like, man, my grandfather is one of the coldest businessmen that I ever met in my life. Like that dude was a beast. He was a savage in business. He used to wake up early in the morning and open up his store. Him and his wife and my grandmother, and man, he did that 7 days a week. You know, um, early in the morning, and then I mean, it's just his schedule was brutal. But he was a millionaire. Like, you could be a millionaire, but can you work a 7 day? Like, see, the thing about why business is tough, you know, you working more than 40 hours. The average employee, they work what, 40 hours a week. They work 9 to 5, and then they're off on the weekend. Well, if you got a business, you gonna probably double that. You're gonna work 80 hours. And he certainly had employees, but he wanted to be there. He wanted to be there all the time. So he didn't really trust anybody. Like most people, he had trust issues. So he wasn't just, chilling at home. He was in that business every single day. And he had a schedule, and his schedule was brutal. His schedule was probably over 80 hours a week. Um, and yeah, he was a millionaire, and his store was in the ghetto. In the ghetto, his store was in the ghetto, and he still became a millionaire. So all the people talking about the ghetto, the hood, the shithole. He made millions in a ghetto, in the hood, around vice lords and all other kind of gangs selling drugs. He made millions. So all that, ain't no money in the hood. Bullshit. Bullshit.
What? A bullshit? A bullshit? A bullshit. A bullshit.
Yep. Plenty of money in the hood. Plenty. That's why the foreigners there. Muhammad, Ibrahim, Mustafa, Abdul, Patel, Singh, uh, what's another Indian name? Rama Shababa. Like, all of them is in that motherfucker, man, making a whole bunch of money. Making a whole bunch, making a whole heap of cash. But you don't have to be in the hood. You don't have to, like, see, one of the things about, okay, Chicago, south side of Chicago is just, it's a lot of parts that's ghetto. I heard that's how Baltimore is. Baltimore is a lot of parts is ghetto. Or somebody said the whole Baltimore is ghetto, but I don't know. But like, that's a major city. It's a lot of people. So like, okay, I'm gonna just tell you like this, right? So you got Chicago, a major city. Okay, to have a store on the north side is more expensive, way more expensive as far as your commercial rent, all of that, it's no parking, all of that. It's very congested, high populated area. Okay, you go on the south side, you know, it is a lot of parts that's ghetto because you got black people there that, basically are disenfranchised. A lot of them, they don't they don't have the economic, code or of conduct and conduct business. Everybody doesn't have that. So they, basically dependent on a job, and then they can't get a job, and they gotta, go to system D and do all kind of stuff to make money. And they have money. Some people work, a lot of people actually work. And it's like, basically, a lot of people are struggling to make ends meet and keep themselves afloat economically, because when it comes to economics is the simple definition of economics is a bunch of transactions. When I did my video, it kind of got a little views, but basically, when I said it's trillions of dollars that are traded every single day, that's the economy. That's a bunch of transactions, whether it be from all of these sectors right here, even System D, even under the table money. That's called the black market. It's underground, whatever. Money is being transacted every single day, all day. You know, and the thing is that when it comes to the hood, it's people, a mixed bag of people, right? From various socioeconomic levels, but they still have money. And the thing is that when you provide them something that they need, you can make money off of it. But back to Chicago, Chicago is a major big city. It's over 2 million people. So all of that foot traffic, you got people coming and going, they're spending money. It's not necessarily you depending on the people that are living in the neighborhood. You got also transients that are going from different places in Chicago. and they gotta stop. They need a bag of chips and a soda, or they need a pint of damn, I forgot it. Um, uh, Wild Irish Rose at that time. It's like the early mid '80s, late '80s. They need a pint of Seagram's gin or whatever, a little splash. They gonna stop in your store, and then they gonna carry on or whatever. And the thing is it's a lot of money in these major cities: Philadelphia, D.C., Chicago, New York. You know, so you don't really want to have a store in the suburbs. You know what I'm saying? Like you might be around, you know, a nice, decent suburb and low crime, and to be honest, you might get robbed in that part of town either, because you got people that don't have no money, and then you got a store, and they might stick you up, uh, because somebody might be passing through also. But you're in the suburbs, you don't have that much foot traffic. You in, like, let's just say you got a store in my hometown, a suburb, Dalton, Illinois. Dalton, Illinois, what, like 15,000 people? You got 15,000 people versus 1.5 million people. What do you rather have? 1.5 million people having foot traffic or 15,000 people? And out of them 15,000 people, all of them ain't coming to your store, but out of that 1.5, if you get 1%, you cool. If you get 10%, shit, you probably one of the richest men in Chicago, because you got over 150,000 people supporting you, supporting their business. That's a lot of money. So you want to have. That's why people want to have a store. In the hood, the rent is cheap. The rent is cheaper in high crime areas, in Chicago. If you got a store in Hyde Park, in Chicago, that's a kind of a more upper crust, old money, part of Chicago. So the rent is going to be way more costly to have a store in Hyde Park, versus having a store in Auburn, Gresham, or Chatham. You know, it's gonna be more expensive to have a store in Hyde Park. To have a store in Beverly or Evergreen Park, or near the Loop. It's gonna be more expensive. So that's why people have these stores in Chicago and different parts of Chicago, even if the neighborhood is sketchy. But yeah, I mean, the thing is that it's a situation where confidence, man. It's still a lot of opportunity. It's a lot of opportunity, no matter what your situation is. It's so much opportunity. It's crazy. It's diabolical how much, like really low key. To be honest, like, I mean, even though the black community is backwards in a lot of different ways, and obviously I'm one of the few people that do point that out, how backwards a lot of shit is. There's still a lot of opportunity, and this opportunity ain't really nobody can really fuck with you, man. Like it's still a lot of racist elements. You know, it's a lot of stuff that you do have to deal with. But even then, it's still you can deal with it. You can make, I just look the way I look at it is I ain't getting no love, ain't no love, you know what I'm saying? So so when I get money, I look at it like I'm a motherfucking get my money, and then if it's fuck me, it's fuck you. And it's like, it's a whole lot of fuck me, so it's a whole lot of fuck you too. So it's like, man, that's why I penny pinch, man. I ain't trying to make nobody else rich if I can avoid it. You know what I'm saying? Because it's like, okay, I'm gonna get what I need. I'm gonna get the things that I know I need. But if you ain't making me rich, I ain't trying to make you rich. If it's fuck me, it's fuck you. But it's like other people don't have that mindset. And it's really, to be honest, that's what you learn in business. That's what you learn in actual business. You learn that you see who supports you. Because if nobody supports you, you go out of business. And you know the obvious. What's going on, T really? The obvious is that people don't support you. It's a whole bunch of fuck yous when you learn when you go into business. You get an absolute idea. The same people that don't want to hire you, the same people that ain't gonna support your business. And it's a whole bunch of fuck yous. So you realize, okay, when I get my money, it's fuck you too. Fuck you back. Fuck you. Fuck you very much. You know what I'm saying? Because it's a lot of fuck yous out there. And it's like, what a lot of times what people do, what a lot of black people do, they act like motherfucking it's not fuck you. And they trying to, they trying to kiss other people's ass and all that kind of shit. And it's like, no, man, fuck you. If it's fuck me, it's fuck you. And it's like that's, I mean, I look at it like you know, I'm kind of street with it. That's a street mentality, maybe, but it's reality. Number two. So, but I'm one of the few that is vocal enough to say that. A lot of people don't want to talk about that shit. They don't want to deal with it. But it being the same people, they making everybody else rich. If you don't take nothing from my channel, make yourself rich. Enrich yourself, your family. And that's how the Jews got rich. That's how everybody got rich. They looked out for worst come to worst, my people come first. That's what they did. And they came, you know what I'm saying? The Irish came over here, poor as a church mouse, and they were getting shitted on by everybody. And they grouped up. Next thing you know, they took over. Shit, they damn near took over. They pretty much took over Chicago. At one time, the mayor was Irish, the governor was Irish, the attorney general of Illinois was Irish. It was they had the whole politics on lock, because they came over here. A lot of people told them "fuck you," and they had to fight, obviously, and all that type of shit. But they build up, they grouped up, and they banded together. But and then they own the fucking Bears. They even own the Bears. The McCaskies is an Irish name. They own the Bears, and they suck. You know, but are they going to sell the Bears? Probably not, because I think they look at it as a legacy. It's like a legacy owned team. Like the owner is the granddaughter of the original owner of the Bears, or that started the Bears, George Halas. So I don't think they're gonna even sell the Bears. But what happens? Every year the Bears suck balls because they done got rid of everybody but the fucking owners, and a lot of problems is ownership. Like for example, you got the Dallas Cowboys. I just found out like last month, maybe a month or two ago. I didn't even know Jerry Jones is the owner and general manager of the Dallas Cowboys. He has final say so of who gets a contract, who gets signed for the franchise. He has like autonomy, like almost pretty much full autonomy over his franchise that he owns. And obviously, if they suck, it's on him. He's the head man at the top. He's not gonna fire himself. You know what I'm saying? So the Cowboys been sucking for a while. Not as bad as the Bears. The Bears have a what? 40 years, almost 40. 2025 will be a 40-year Super Bowl drought for the Chicago Bears franchise. They got close with Lovie Smith, but then they let him go, which is dumb. But they let a lot of players go. That's why they suck. They let a lot of good players go, and then they become great for the other teams, like David Montgomery for the Detroit Lions. They let all their good players go. Fields he doing good in Pittsburgh. They could have. It's no reason they could have kept Justin Fields, and kept Caleb Williams. They could have had, basically a competition between Caleb Williams, just like they had with Justin Fields and Russell Wilson in Pittsburgh. They could have had the same thing in Chicago. They had two good quarterbacks, one younger, one slightly older, and everything would have been a lot better. But then he went to Pittsburgh because he had problems with the management, problems with the basically coaches, and he had to move on. But yeah, man, it's like, man, like I said, I mean, they have that. You got the money, you got the power. Not necessarily, because you can have money and still be powerless. You got to know what to do with money. You got to have a organ. You got to have a group. You got to have a group of people, man. To really exercise power. Just because you got money doesn't mean you got power. Because all that happens is they just kill you or they just take your money. That's that's easier done than you know of. It's very easy to deal with that. But yeah, man, it's just a lot of opportunities out here, man. But if you want to be retarded, you going you know what I'm saying? It's gonna be what it's gonna be. I ain't gonna lie, man. I think I'm better as far as women. I think I'm better with a woman that's definitely business minded.
Got to be intelligent, got to look good. I would say those are the four things that I think I would be compatible with the woman, because you got to have a woman that's gonna fucking listen to you. And it helps if y'all have something complimentary to share. Like, you both been in business, you know how business is. Y'all can motherfucking be, that's like the inner workings of a power couple right there. But when you meet somebody and they just a worker and you a business owner, you know what I'm saying? Like, that's gonna clash, especially if they don't want to work for your business. They don't want to help you, with your business. They don't see your vision. That's a problem. That's a serious issue. So a lot of these live streams be like personal, like it'd be like video journals. You know what I'm saying? I'll be listening to these joints and be like, damn, I did say that. Damn, that was some good information. I damn near forgot about that. I mean, like, yeah, it's a lot of that, man. I be doing these, man, be like video journals, man, But anyway, man, I'm gonna get up off of here, I'm gonna leave you with this here.
It's amazing what you can achieve if you never give up. My saying, unmatched perspicacity and sheer indefatigability. That point is important. Sheer indefatigability, the inability to become fatigued. If you never quit, if you never give up, if you never give in, you're going to get exactly what you wanted. All you had to do is not be a fucking coward, and you still failed. I don't want to hear any excuses. I don't care about excuses. God doesn't care about excuses. And the winners who went through the exact same things you're going through, who didn't quit, don't care about excuses. There are winners and losers in the world. You are either a winner who dedicates himself, never gives up, continues to learn, does everything he knows he needs to do regardless of how he feels, or you're a loser who makes excuses and you stay invisible for the rest of human time. Make a choice.